Hey everybody, today was the day. Today was gum grafting surgery day. Something that I have dreaded for since I had to make the appointment. I did not look up what was going to be involved in this. Like, I didn't want to scare myself and be like not wanting to go through with it. But so, for years, I have been going to the dentist, the same dentist that I've got now. I've been going to her for about 8 years now. And I'm sorry, it's a taste in my mouth. And she started noticing that I had some gum recession. And she said, we'll keep an eye on it. I feel like eventually you're probably going to have to possibly have some gum grafting done. Okay. Well, about 8 years went by, and on my last checkup, she says, I think you might need to go have this checked out. She said, we don't want it to get any worse. Now, gum degeneration comes from, one, aggressive brushing, and two, it can be genetic. But I kind of feel like mine came with the aggressive brushing because when I was little, my mama used to tell us, she'd say, y'all brush them teeth, y'all brush them real hard, make sure you get all the gook off of them, make sure they don't have anything on them, you don't want them to rot out. And so for years and years and years, I'm 50 years old, and for years and years and years, I have brushed my teeth very, very hard, aggressively. In fact, I brushed them so hard that even my daughter said to me several years ago, she said, why are you brushing your teeth like you're mad at them? So I went back in December to my dentist, and she says, I think it's time. Let's go ahead and send you to a periodontist. I think I'm saying that right, periodontist. She says, let's go ahead and send you and see what they recommend doing. Well, I went in February, and he says, you know what, you do need it done. He said, it's some kind of count that they do, and I had 3 more steps to where we would be in the situation where we would be worried. And the thing about it is they were my front 2 bottom teeth. Now, I didn't want to lose them. And so I said, okay, let's do what we need to do. The options that he gave, I said, and I asked him, I said, is this a surgery? And he says, yeah. He said, it's a surgery, but he says, you don't seem like you're anxious, so I don't think we'll really have to put you to sleep. And he said, I think you just, you can go through it and not have any kind of sedation or anything. And I said no, because I can't do that. Like, I do really good at the dentist. You can put shots in my mouth all day long. Don't bother me. But when they start talking about having to scrape the gum tissue from the top of your mouth and sew it into wherever your gums need to be rejuvenated, I guess you'd say, I was like, I can't do this like this. I've got to do something. So my insurance wouldn't pay, obviously, for IV sedation because, it's insurance. And I didn't want to have to pay $1,000 for IV sedation, and that's about what it would have been. So I said, well, what's the next thing? What's the next thing we can do? And he says, well, you can have laughing gas, nitrous oxide, and I've never had it before. So I said, well, okay, let's do that. Like, I hadn't researched it, didn't know what it was like, had no idea. So that's what I opted for. And kind of got a little bit nervous yesterday just thinking about, you know, because I did Google nitrous oxide. I did not Google the procedure, but I did Google the nitrous oxide, and I thought, okay, so it says that nitrous oxide, laughing gas, says that you know what's going on, but you just don't care. And I'm going to tell y'all, for anybody who hasn't had it and is thinking about doing it, they're right. Nitrous oxide, I kept thinking, this is not going to work, because I have a very high tolerance to Novocaine, to, being sedated. I have woke up in the middle of sedation when I had my wisdom teeth taken out. So I thought, this ain't going to work. Well, I'm just going to tell you, yes, it does. It was heavenly, y'all. I wish I had a tank of it to carry around with me, because it was just so nice. And you can hear what they're saying. You're aware of what they're saying. You can answer questions, and I still remember what happened. The time frame of what happened didn't seem like it was that long. The time frame seemed like it might have been 10 minutes compared to the 40 minutes that they were actually working. I had my earbuds in. I brought my blanket from home, just trying to, that's what they told me to do to be comfortable. Now, when they first put the nitrous oxide on, they went ahead and numbed me. And they had taken pictures from my consultation, which was in February. And so he numbs me, and so they set me up still with the nitrous on and said, it looks like you've had a little bit, it looks worse than it was when you were here in February. So they said, we're going to have to take a little bit of a different approach as to what we were going to do, which means that they had to take more of the tissue from the roof of my mouth. Like, they were only going to cut a little square. Well, they had to go in more of a rectangle to get the tissue from the roof of my mouth. I didn't know, because I was numbed up and everything. Now, it did make about a $500 difference on my bill. Then I'm wondering, since I've been home and now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm wondering, do they do that? Do they make you feel like it's not going to cost a whole lot, and then get you in there and throw that nitrous on you and go, oh, yeah, we quoted you wrong. It's not right. This ain't right. We quoted you wrong, and we're going to have to add $500. They didn't tell me how much it was going to be. I just got up there to pay my part, or pay the half of the, I paid half, and it was like, bam. It went from $983 that I had left to pay up to an even $1,200. I don't know if that's where they get you. Either way, you're in the chair, you're under. You just better hope that you have that money in the bank to do that. So, and I did not know it was going to be that much of a difference. But, I mean, like I said, what could you do? But anyway, so the gum grafting, like I said, it did good. I have a patch. I forgot what they called the patch at the top of my gum. It's like I guess it's almost like a Band-Aid that they have just it's like got glue kind of on it, and it just sets in the top where they took the tissue out. In the front, and I'm not supposed to show it, but if you can see that. In the front, it's the same thing. So this white patch that I have will probably stay here until I go back to the doctor to see him for a follow-up, which is 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from today, actually. I'm not sure. Now, she did say, in my whole midst of being, loopy, that something would start coming off, and that if it bothered me really bad, I could just peel it off. I don't know if it's just, it has to be the white piece on top. I don't know. Right now, I'm not really sore. I'm not really hurting. But I did, on my way home, we stopped and got a milkshake because I didn't have to not eat before I went, but I just didn't because I was a little bit nervous. So we stopped and got a milkshake, and I drank that, and and on my way home, I could feel the numbing coming out. So I went ahead and took some medicine, which was ibuprofen and Tylenol mixed together. I went ahead and took that, and when I got home, I laid down on the couch, and I feel like that helped me. So I do that every 6 hours. I don't feel any real, at this time, I don't feel any pain. I feel like there's probably some numbing still in there, and I feel like I'm swollen in here. She said there could be bruising, there could be swollen. Now, I went ahead and had this done on a Thursday so that I could be back at work on Monday. I hope. I told him I'd be back on Monday, so I'm hoping I'll be able to be able to go back on Monday. Most of the time, they said people only take a day or two for this surgery anyway. But so far, it's good. So far, the swelling is, like I said, it's there. I'm going to take it easy. It is numb. I can feel it numb. I can feel that. I felt them doing things, but I did not care. You know, they're like, you know, jerking your head around a little bit, and then when they put the needles in, I didn't feel that, which needles don't bother me in my mouth anyway. Now, if you go to try to put a needle in my arm to draw blood or give me an IV, that's a whole nother thing, because I loathe needles. So, anyway, that is it's going to be part one of my update on my gum graft surgery. We're only halfway through the day. We'll see how the night goes. Most time I have pretty good pain tolerance, so I'm going to continue to do what they told me to do with the meds, and they called in some antibiotics, and so my daughter's going to pick them up tonight on her way home so I can get started on them. But so far, so good, and I will update everybody in a day or two to let you know. I'm good for 4 days, well, today and 3 more days before I have to go back to work. Am I going to sit here and go crazy? Because I did not make any plans to do anything, because I did not know that I was going to feel like this. I thought I might be like, laid up and like tired and sore, and I might be sore tomorrow. I might be really sore tomorrow. But anyway, I'll let you know. If you're having to have this surgery done, I've heard horror stories. Like I said, I didn't investigate anything, but I'm going to let you know what my situation is on this. And this is part one. I'll be back with another video in the next couple days. If it gets really bad, I'll go ahead and do a video and let you know, hey, this is bad. So, thank y'all for watching. Say a prayer for me to try to get through this, because the worst might be yet to come. They say day 3 is bad, but the worst might be yet to come. So, again, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.